behind the wheel, it can result in hundreds of dollars in fines. However, at the worst of it, you could cost someone's life. Law enforcement officials say the moment you're behind the wheel, you're not just responsible for yourself, but you're also responsible for others you are sharing the road with. Four-year traffic officer Russell Petticord says he's seen it time and time again, how even 1 second you're distracted could change your life forever.
One in particular, traveling even 20 to 30 miles per hour, they admitted to using their cell phone. They ended up kind of swerving out of the lane and hitting a curb, striking a curb, and then ultimately into a building.
The no-touch phone law was in full effect in the beginning of June. The law not just for those texting while driving, but even if you're holding it behind the wheel, regardless if it's for navigation purposes or music, you can be stopped and receive a ticket.
I'm going to issue a ticket though, okay, a citation.
According to Officer Petticord, this new law will enforce stricter rules. However, he says when they make stops, it's not just about enforcing the law. It's about education as well.
A lot of times people, when we contact them, they deny being on their phone or like texting or making a phone call. Whereas this is even holding your phone, you're, potentially going at an unsafe speed for the conditions. Being on your phone, you're distracted. We enjoy making contact with people. Every contact, we're able to educate people on, the safety aspects of it.
According to the latest statistics from the California Office of Traffic Safety, in 2022, 148 people were killed in an incident involving a distracted driver. And in 2024, a survey found over 73% of Californians identified distracted driving as anyone using their cell phone. Some locals say they've heard about this new no phone law, and they're hoping it will limit the cause of roadside accidents and deaths.
I think it's great. We shouldn't be on our phones. They're a huge distraction.
Decreasing, distracted driving will be very helpful in preventing accidents.
The way cars are now, with Bluetooth and CarPlay, Officer Petticord says there's no reason you should ever need to touch your phone when on the road.
Use hands-free. You can talk through the speakers within your car.
Now, as you heard, it only takes a matter of seconds to have your life changed or someone else's when you're using a phone or distracted when you're behind the wheel. It's just better to follow the rules of the road, one of those being the no-touch phone rule. For NBC Palm Springs, I'm Brett Rosen.
Our thanks to Brett for that report. Tonight we have a live look outside our Agua Caliente casino camera, downtown Palm Springs. If you're heading that way for dinner, looks like not too breezy out there right now. Hopefully that doesn't change too much as we get into later this evening. We have Chloe Carlson here with us now as we're halfway through the work week, inching a little closer to the weekend.
Yes, I know we're getting there. I keep being like, are we to the end of the work week yet? But not bad for conditions today. We were a little bit below average. That helped our Monday and Tuesday. Now we start to ramp up those temperatures as we get into the weekend. So good news, the weekend is getting closer. Just along with it are some really hot conditions. So we'll be back to the 110s by Monday. Maybe we'll stay away from 117 because hopefully we don't see those temperatures get that hot again. It was a little rough last week. 104 right now in downtown Palm Springs there at the airport. Those winds from the southeast direction at this hour. As we get into this evening, if you're going to go for your evening stroll, evening patio reading time, we're gonna be in the 90s through the 9 o'clock hour, 80s through 11 p.m. through 1 o'clock tomorrow. So yeah, we're getting pretty hot still through those evening hours. As far as wind gusts right now, onshore flow for the pass there, yeah, not too bad. We'll call it strong breezes for the San Antonio Pass at this hour. As we get into the afternoon evenings, really through the rest of the week and into the weekend, for that area specifically, it will get a little bit gusty, some strong breezes for that area. So if you're traveling the 10 that direction up to 62, no surprise there. We'll get a little bit gusty at moments. For us here on the desert floor, winds from the southeast direction at this hour. As I mentioned, for Whitewater, for Desert Hot Springs, winds will get gusty in the evening. We'll call it breezy for us here on the desert floor. Light winds up in the high desert. So for today, hot and dry conditions, breezy. We'll see those temperatures start to ramp up as we get into later this week. Here's a look at your Comfort Air 3-day forecast. Just above seasonal for Thursday. We'll stay below 110 degrees Friday and Saturday. However, that is not the case as we get into early next week. Like I said, temperatures above 110 degrees for our Sunday through Tuesday. We'll break down where you can expect in that full forecast coming up.
Well, we thank you. A local alert tonight. A Palm Desert man accused of possessing child pornography pled guilty in court today. Joseph Siders, the former drummer of the indie group The New Pornographers, pled guilty to multiple charges, according to court records today. Siders was originally scheduled for a felony settlement today before ultimately pleading guilty. His next scheduled sentence appearance is August 26th.
An elderly man was rescued by helicopter today after suffering minor injuries in a canyon near Mecca. Happened around 1 p.m. at Painted Canyon and Box Canyon roads. Firefighters hoisted that man out. They flew him to the Thermal Airport for medical evaluation. Authorities cleared the scene within an hour, but his name and exact injuries have not been released. Walmart is opening doors for local entrepreneurs, giving Palm Springs area businesses a shot at getting their products on shelves nationwide. Applications for Walmart's 2025 open call are now live, and businesses have until July 25th to apply. It's a chance to pitch products made, grown, or assembled in the United States directly to Walmart and Sam's Club. Past winners from California have gone from startups to store shelves in months, and this year, tech innovators and manufacturing can apply as well.
20 Coachella Valley college students just received over $90,000 total in scholarships through Modernism Week's annual program. One future Coachella Valley partnered with Modernism Week, contributing more than $22,000 to support students pursuing careers in architecture and design. Since 2011, the program says they've awarded over $400,000 funded by community events and donations. Organizations say the impact goes beyond education, also supporting local preservation and charities like the LA Fire Relief Fund.
6 LGBTQ+ business leaders were honored today at the Spirit of Palm Springs Awards. The city hosted a Pride Month ceremony over at Palm Springs City Hall on East Aquidz Canyon Way. It was a celebration of the entrepreneurship, creativity, and inclusion that shaped the city's identity. City leaders say these honorees present the best of Palm Springs' business community.
It's great because, it's nice that the community gets along, everyone talks to each other, and you build each other's business, and it's not about competition, it's about supporting each other.
I consider it a privilege. We've received several Spirit Awards, so that tells me that, we are making a contribution and people are looking at what we do. Our primary focus is to give women, especially artists, a platform to develop and to learn and to give them a paycheck as well.
The event was one of many celebrations recognizing Pride Month across the valley.
Some continuing coverage tonight as the Palm Springs Windwall project is officially moving forward. Now, back in April, the city of Palm Springs awarded a construction contract of just over $2 million to Dirk E&C. Well, today, construction for this more than 12-foot wall is started. Our Tiani Jadalang is live in Palm Springs tonight. She spoke with the mayor on the city's plans moving forward. She has all the details for us. Tiani?
Olivia, like you mentioned, this project has been in the works for months. Palm Springs Mayor Ron DeHart tells me once this wood panel you see behind my left shoulder is replaced by a 600-foot-long concrete wall, the city is hoping for less road closures and increased driver safety. Anytime wind rolls through Palm Springs, this is the sight most motorists see through streets like the one I'm standing on right now, North Gene Autry Trail. But 6 months from now, this issue could be fixed with the help of a CMU brick wall standing anywhere from 12 to 14.5 feet tall and 600 feet long, a project the city has discussed for months.
It's always a long process, and finally, you had to create plans, you had to draw up where's the funding going to come from, find those resources, and here we are today. We're going to have fewer closures as long as Mother Nature works on our side and continues to do what she has been doing. But this will help protect the amount of drift sand that's coming onto Gene Autry.
The project is being funded by Measure A. Along the process, residents can expect some road closures. According to the city's principal engineer, this project is supposed to take any time from around 120 days to complete, with an end completion date of around sometime in December of this year. Live in Palm Springs, I'm Tiani Jadalang, NBC Palm Springs.
All right, Tiani, thanks for that live report. We appreciate that. New at 6 o'clock tonight, food access just got a boost in San Diego County. Supervisors approved $750,000 in grants today, $500,000 for the San Diego Food Bank and $250,000 for the new Suncoast Market Co-op, which is in Imperial Beach. Supervisors say the funding will help families struggling to put food on the table while supporting local food solutions. The money comes as federal assistance to the food bank drops by 40%, leaving a big gap to fill.
Coming up next tonight on NBC Palm Springs, Pride Month continues, but one group that's often overlooked is getting some renewed attention. We'll tell you how senior LGBTQ members are being supported this year.
Also, more singles are turning to an old trick to boost their chances at love. We'll tell you what that is a little bit later on in our show.
And here's a look at your gold and silver prices on this Wednesday evening, halfway through the work week. Those headlines right after the break.
They say dogs are a man's best friend, but at NBC Palm Springs, we're a dog's best choice for news. Apologies to our competitors, but even your dogs know who leads the pack in news.
Welcome back. As Pride celebrations continue around the country, one often overlooked sector of the community is the elderly.
While aging comes with a wide range of concerns, both financial and physical, older LGBTQ plus individuals have specific challenges. Karen Kafa tonight shares what advocates say medical professionals can do to improve care.
It's a rapidly growing population with a unique set of challenges.
There are over 3 million LGBTQ older adults in this country, and we're estimating that that is probably going to grow to over 7 million by 2030.
According to the American Association of Retired Persons Dignity 2024 survey, the largest concern for older LGBTQ plus adults is social isolation, which could mean lacking the support they will need as they age.
The LGBTQ community is more likely to be single, less likely to have children, and some of those social connections that we would assume from a family or biological connection aren't there.
The survey also found a number of queer adults feel vulnerable in healthcare spaces, particularly trans and non-binary people, with a third saying their quality of care has been compromised.
Anytime you find a new doctor, you have to come out again. And it's a challenge sometimes to find good healthcare professionals who understand all the needs of the community.
Ernesto Finales with the nonprofit advocacy group SAGE says medical providers should take time to understand where these patients are coming from.
I think part of that is really connecting with the community and making sure that their voices are elevated.
And for members of the community looking to take control of their future,
it really is a matter of planning, not only in terms of caregiving and who is able to care for you as you age, but also making those financial decisions so that you're prepared to make the decisions that you want.
In Washington, I'm Karen Kafa.
This week marks the 10th anniversary of the U.S. Supreme Court decision legalizing same-sex marriage. The 2015 decision gave same-sex couples access to marriage nationwide. Over the years, the country has changed drastically on the issue of same-sex marriage. In CNN's presidential exit polls 21 years ago, only a quarter of Americans thought same-sex couples should be able to legally marry. A larger percentage favored civil unions instead. But now, a decade after the landmark Supreme Court decision, some polls show nearly 70% of Americans approve of same-sex marriage.
Kilmar Abrego Garcia will stay in jail until at least Friday, as his lawyers and prosecutors debate whether the Justice Department can stop his deportation if he's released. A federal judge ordered him held by U.S. Marshals while his lawyers file additional papers, with the government responding Friday. The judge had said he should be released with conditions, but both sides agree immigration authorities would likely detain him again. The Justice Department is appealing, but another judge refused to halt the release order.
A CDC advisory group hit pause on a key vote about a new RSV antibody for infants. The panel was supposed to decide whether to recommend Merck's product Influenza. But after falling behind schedule, they've pushed the vote to Thursday. The FDA already approved the antibody earlier this month.
All right, we've made it halfway through the work week. We're giving you a live look on this Wednesday evening from our Indian Wells Golf Resort camera. Chloe Carlson tracking that end of week forecast. Full details when we come right back.
They say dogs are a man's best friend, but at NBC Palm Springs, we're a dog's best choice for news. Apologies to our competitors, but even your dogs know who leads the pack in news.
Night after night, discover the unique stories that set our valley apart. Together, we're going to find inspiration and foster connections that strengthen the fabric of our community.
Babies are
Welcome back. Before we get into the forecast, a little cool down there for a moose in Colorado Springs. 650-pound moose caught wandering through a city park was taking refuge near a creek. Wildlife officers ended up having to sedate her, cool her down like you just saw, use a heavy-duty winch to haul her out. The massive animal got an officer escort in a one-way trip to the wilderness of Teller County. So she's doing all right now. Just wanted a little cool off from some hot temperatures. Officials are reminding people if you see a moose in the city, stay back and call for help. May not apply to us here in the Coachella Valley as we check in with Chloe Carlson. But for your family back home in Colorado, maybe something they should listen to.
Yeah, hot conditions for all the moose out there. And yes, that is just another day in Colorado. You'll just see them, especially in Estes Park, walking around around those mountain towns, so I'll definitely have to give my mom and dad a call there. Here's a live look at the Walter Clark 911 cam in Rancho Mirage, and there it goes. But blue skies today, 106 for the high today. We were seasonal for this time of year as we forecasted the last couple of days. We expected that continues into tomorrow, and just to keep the glass half full. I know it's hot, but it could be hotter. There's the record-breaking number 122 back in 2017. So thank goodness we are not in those conditions. 98 right now in the southeast end in Indio. Still 100 degrees, 4,000 Palms. 89 up in Yucca Valley. We will be in the 70s overnight tonight. 30s up at Big Bear for Jackie and Shadow and Sunny and Gizmo. As far as surface moisture, very dry for us. Pretty consistent here. 5% for the relative humidity, below 50 degrees for those dew points. So those clear blue skies will continue for us as we get into Thursday. More of the same of what we saw today. Friday, temperatures get slightly warmer as we get into Saturday. Again, that ridge of high pressure will start to build over the southwest, starting to ramp with those temperatures a little bit more. And it's going to be hot across Southern California for us. Temperatures peaking on Monday, 113 for Palm Springs, 114 Palm Desert, 115 in La Quinta. So keep that in mind with your Monday plans. Next week, we're also tracking that monsoonal moisture with that ridge of high pressure. Again, could draw up some of that moisture from the southeast. So something that we are tracking because it could make those temperatures a little bit different next week, depending on how much moisture moves into Southern California. A little quick, we got 4th of July next Friday. Right now for fireworks, looking at 93 degrees as we celebrate that holiday. Here's what you have there, 7-day forecast. So seasonal through Thursday. Again, temperatures continue warm, taking us to 113 by Monday.
They say dogs are a man's best friend, but at NBC Palm Springs, we're a dog's best choice for news. Apologies to our competitors, but even your dogs know who leads the pack in news.
Night after night, discover the unique stories that set our valley apart. Together, we're going to find inspiration and foster connections that strengthen the fabric of our community.
The NBC Palm Springs Sports Desk with Tim O'Brien. Brought to you by Agua Caliente Casinos.
Well, welcome back. News this afternoon out of the Thermal Club. After just 2 years, the IndyCar Series will not return in 2026. The first year was an exhibition, followed by a true points race just this past March. The 3-mile track has become a hot spot in the East Valley the last few years. Now the club will turn the page and look for a new title sponsor for 2027. Now, each month at the Indian Wells Golf Resort, we showcase a hole on one of their 2 championship courses. This week, of course, was on the Celebrity Course. Here's the latest with the Director of Golf, Joe Williams.
So we just finished up 18 on the Celebrity Course here at the Indian Wells Golf Resort. Joe Williams, the Director of Golf here. A par and a bogey, we'll take that.
Absolutely. Hit a good tee shot with a hybrid off the tee box, a wedge to the green, just couldn't convert the putt. So, you know what, happy to get out here with you. It is heating up, so let's get back to our golf carts and hop in one of those Mr. Carts.
For this course itself, you've mentioned smart ball control, of course. You didn't use your driver off the deck. It's something I was like, well, I wonder why he's not doing it. you don't necessarily need to when you can put it where you put it.
Yeah, the hole wasn't extremely long, so I wanted a decent approach from the fairway, hit a hybrid about 225 yards down the middle, and left myself a nice 130-yard approach, which is kind of what you want to do. Give yourself a full shot to the green from a decent distance, and I had a birdie look, just didn't convert it.
That's why he's the director of golf here. It's why he's the pro. You can catch all of our episodes of Signature Hole on our website. You can find the Signature Hole tab on NBCPalmSprings.com.
Well, Indian Wells Golf Resort in the middle of their latest renovation of redoing the Players Course in its entirety. It is set to reopen in October. That'll do it in sports. I'm Tim O'Brien.
And now the Agua Caliente Entertainment Report, brought to you by Agua Caliente Casinos.
Television and film actor Joe Marinelli has died. His agent saying he'd been battling throat and stomach cancer in recent years. His career spanned more than 4 decades. His early career included roles in the mid-1980s on popular shows, including Hill Street Blues and LA Law, and he was a regular on the soap Santa Barbara. He was 68 years old.
Police say that one of the stars of Netflix's hit show Cobra Kai allegedly bit a fellow castmate at a convention in Washington State. Police there say that Martin Kove and Alicia Roche, known by her stage name as Alicia Hannah Kim, were at SummerCon over the weekend. They say Kove grabbed Hannah Kim and bit her upper arm, nearly drawing blood. Hannah Kim and her husband reported this incident. According to that report, Kove told officers he was play fighting and thought he was being funny. Hannah Kim told police she did not want to press charges. Kove apologized and was escorted out of the event. We'll be right back.
Brighter Side of the News is brought to you by Fiesta Kia. Discover the all-new Fiesta Kia located in the I-10 Auto Mall.
All right, reports are showing more singles are turning to professional photographers to boost their dating profiles online. One Minnesota woman says she struggled to find photos that really captured her personality until she met Shannon O'Malley. O'Malley specializes in online dating photography. She's helped hundreds of singles ages 25 to 70 put their best self forward. She says it's about more than just great photos. It's about confidence, connection, and rediscovering who you are. Now, I'm all for it because I think professional photos make you look great as long as it's just not overly edited by
I was
the
gonna
end,
say.
and you meet in person, and you're like, that's not who I saw on the dating
Right?
app.
Yeah, you can't put all the filters on there, but
But she looks great.
fine. Yeah, she
Lovely.
does no filter.
I hope
yeah.
she finds someone.
Right.
All coming on National Catfish Day, too.
Right, yeah,
Which
good
is
timing, right?
Appropriate for that. All right, that's going to do it for us tonight. We're back here at 11, so please join us for that. Meantime, we'll send things over to Fred Rogan. He's got the latest tonight with the Rogan Report. Hey, Fred.
Hey, Mark. The Rogan Report is presented by The Living Desert.
It's a place to mourn. It's a place to contemplate. And apparently it's also a place to have a double chili cheeseburger. So what's for lunch? Welcome into the Wednesday show. We'll start with a question. How's your love life? How are things in the intimacy department? Now, before you answer, you might be curious to know that a lot of Americans are looking for a break from physical intimacy. They want more space. According to a recent study, it seems after a couple of tough years, people are craving time to themselves. They're focusing on self-care. Some still want physical connections, but others are finding comfort in taking things slow. Don't kiss her. This trend highlights how priorities are shifting when it comes to relationships and intimacy. Our contributors tonight, Sue Abramowitz, who's getting seated, and Nick Collins. All right, Sue, settle in. Nick, I'll start with you. You think it's healthy to take a break from physical intimacy?
Take a break. You know, I got to go to work. I got to eat. I got to sleep. So I'm taking at least 3 breaks a day from the intimacy. It's breaking my heart. People want to take all these breaks. Sue, what about you?
I think it's great, but I'm old school. I think it's really important that you develop a relationship of love and kindness and form of intimacy that helps you understand what the other person wants and needs. So I think it's great.
How has your view on relationships changed during your marriage, Sue?
I've gotten a lot more patient, and I think that has to do with understanding PTSD and what my husband went through during Vietnam. And that's not what everyone needs, but I think there has to be understanding on both sides. So one of the things in a marriage that we all need to do is have patience, know that you're loved, and really be best friends.
Nick, how about your view on relationships during marriage? Has it changed?
The only thing that's changed is I've been looking at the calendar more. I got a time block, you know, because you got all these other things. You got the kids, you got a career, so you got to fit it all in. So, but besides that, I don't know what Sue's talking about. I'm from Olivia Newton-John era. Let's get physical. Or how about Tone Loc, Wild Thing? I don't think we need to be taking a break. We're social creatures. Scientifically, the man's reproduction system's making 1 trillion. That's a lot going on in a lifetime. I can't take all these breaks.
All right, listen, Nick, since you're from the Olivia Newton-John era, let me ask you this. Have you never been mellow?
Mellow? Sure, after I get physical. But look, my wife is a smoke show. I mean, she's hotter than a tea kettle, so no one can expect me to take these long breaks. I mean, she can't expect that.
All right. Would you consider yourself a swapper? Now, no doubt you've heard about this and certainly seen it on social media. You board your plane for your dream vacation, you sit on in your assigned seat, then somebody wants to switch seats. As summer travel picks up, a Reddit user recounted their experience with an entitled seat swapper who insisted they move from window seat to aisle. The passenger refused, saying they had booked and paid for that specific seat. So that leads to seat swapping etiquette. Is it all right to ask? And if you do, should you respect a no response? Sue, have you ever been asked to swap assigned seats on a plane?
No, I've never had that opportunity. But I've seen people asked to switch seats because the children were given different seats and they wanted to be together. So if I was ever asked to do that, I wouldn't have a problem.
What about you, Nick?
What about you, Nick?
I think it's all in a negotiation. You know, you want something, you want my aisle seat, There's more value in the aisle for me. Of course, that middle seat, nobody wants. A window, it's got a great view. It's not really my flavor, but I'll swap it out. Kind of depends who I'm with. I don't want to do a double swap. Then it gets complicated.
No, you won't go a
I
double
agree.
swap. You'll just do a single swap, but you will not do a double swap.
Well, here's the deal. It's all the negotiation. If I'm giving up my aisle, you better be throwing at least 2 cocktails, maybe even lunch. You got to give
That's
me
a
something.
good
This is
idea.
the barter here.
No, I hear you. And people have gotten a lot of hate for not swapping. What do you think of that, Nick?
Yeah, it's going to happen. People want, but people don't always get. Sue knows that. If you're going to be patient here and someone wants a rush, it may not come together.
Yeah, I agree. I absolutely agree. And it is what it is. And if people get angry, you just look at them and say, I'm sorry you feel that way.
Yeah.
Yeah, they got to sweeten the pot. Start bringing out some cheddar. Maybe the seat will open up.
That's fabulous. That's good.
All right, listen. If you want that seat, book that seat. That's how you be a good neighbor. Kitten Thousand Palms looking for a reputable siding/skirting company in the Tri-Palms area. Kathleen in Rancho Mirage wants to give Carlos and Prestige Plumbing a shout out. Their pricing is fair and they do great work. Wayman Palm Springs looking for recommendations for an upholstery cleaner to take care of the sectional. Sarah in Palm Desert looking for somebody who can repair Hunter Douglas manual cellular shades at a reasonable price.
Question for you. What are you doing this 4th of July? There are so many options here in the Valley. This happens to be one of the biggest gatherings at the Civic Center Park. You'd get to sit here in your chair, front row seat. It's been a dream of mine. My true wish has always been to be a singer. America, land that I love. It gets packed. So if you do decide to do Civic Center Park, you're definitely going to want to come early. I have some friends who live in this area. They say the traffic around this area gets insane. Find legal parking. You are going to have to walk. So you'll be getting in your workout. You have to claim your spot or your territory, your little area, because this is prime real estate and this will fill up. So if this doesn't seem like your scene, if you're not really into the family picnic style 4th of July celebration, there's tons more for you to do in the Valley. Tomorrow, we'll tell you what else is on tap for 4th of July. Thalia Hayden, NBC Palm Springs.
With temperatures rising, some suffer from excessive sweating.
Please towel off before writing the show.
Find Fred on Facebook and Instagram at Fred Rogan or email thedesertdean@gmail.com.
Is a cemetery a good place for lunch? So we talked about how quiet EVs are and how that can also be dangerous. But Neil had something else on his mind. I was wondering if electric cars pay road tax to the state. It seems to me they should be paying road tax since they are using the roads. According to the Orange County Register, yes, EV owners in California pay an annual road improvement fee, an RIF, on their vehicle registration. This fee is in place because EV owners don't pay gas taxes, which are our primary source of funding for road maintenance and repairs. The current RIF is $108, and it's intended to help offset the lost revenue from gas taxes. Okay, where is your favorite lunch spot? I will bet not one person will say it's the cemetery. Some people went there for lunch because of the peaceful vibe. Not necessarily that one. Things took a turn when a resident confronted them, saying it felt disrespectful to eat in the cemetery. Talk about an awkward moment. It really shows that not everyone sees public spaces the same way. Okay, Sue, time for lunch. Want to go out with your pals? Would you go to the cemetery, or do you find it disrespectful to eat there?
Oh, no, I don't find it disrespectful at all. It depends on your culture. Different cultures feel that that's a way to communicate with people who've passed. And I don't feel it's disrespectful at all. Not at all. What do you think, Nick?
I agree. I think it's a great idea. I would eat some ribs. I'm not taking a full rack of ribs to the cemetery or a double scoop on a cone on a hot summer day. However, I think the cemetery could be turned also into a golf course. A lot of greenery there to use.
No, wait a minute. wait a minute. All right. First of all, both of you are saying if you're driving down the street, you pick something up from wherever for lunch, you see a cemetery. You know what? I'm going to pull off right there, sit down, eat my sandwich, and just enjoy the peace in the cemetery. And by the way,
no,
you don't know anyone in the cemetery. You're just going to go to the cemetery and eat.
No.
You're not going to do that.
Doesn't mean I can't get to know them. I'll start reading the literature there. I'll start meeting people.
No, I understand. I appreciate that. I get it. I guess it's a great way to get to know people by eating in the cemetery.
That's kind of creepy, though.
Yeah, a little bit. Listen, when I was in high school, I knew a girl. You know where she wanted to go on dates? To the cemetery. She wanted to go to the cemetery. I thought, I don't think.
Fred?
That's like the guy on Big Bang
dating
with
a
his
little bit of a
girlfriend.
different pool, it sounds like.
Yeah, well, you know, it was Arizona. It was many years ago. We didn't even.
That explains it.
Yeah, you know what? When I was growing up in Phoenix, they didn't even have sewers. They still had irrigation ditches. That's how long ago it was. Maybe you know, maybe she swam in the irrigation ditch and then went to the cemetery. I don't know. All right.
Yikes.
Yesterday, we talked about the service industry and whether or not it was still serving us. Fewer workers mean a better bottom line for the company. That also means problems for consumers. And with the Valley's senior population needing a little extra help, how can they get that if there are fewer employees to help them out? Have you noticed less staffing when you go out and go shopping?
You know what? I have seen less staffing, but I think it's more seasonal versus, cutting back of hours. I frequent Costco more than I probably should. And I saw less people working there last week when I was there.
Across the board, grocery stores are cutting down on staff. I see that. We know that Fred loves to bring up his own groceries. We've talked about that a couple of times, but I do not. And I think that they should bring back more people. I also think that if seniors feel like they have to carry heavy things, they'll start to go elsewhere, and that will hurt Costco.
So Chauncey thought it's just summer staffing. Stephanie thought it's happening all over. Seniors will start to notice. Don wrote in with some pretty detailed help. All about the metrics. The store uses data to figure out how many workers are needed each hour. If a customer needs help, outside a supervisor will radio someone to assist. The customers want services and help, but do not want to pay more. There are other options to buy stuff. Bottom line, I guarantee you, no store wants to make it difficult for anyone to shop there, especially seniors who could use the help. The best thing about this, we brought it to everyone's attention. Summer's officially here. Let's see if Chloe has any news, good news, in super weather.
No? Nobody? Just me? Okay.
Looks like there'll be fireworks in Rancho Mirage, and it's an open call. Do you have an idea?
Riddle me this. What has one head, 1 foot, and 4 legs?
What head, 1 foot, 4 legs? You know, I sit out here every night and try to guess the riddle, and I should not be doing that, according to one of our viewers. Dear Fred, please do not blurt out what you believe to be the answer to the riddle right away. You are not allowing others to have the fun of getting the answer on their own. Signed, Diane. I'll remember that. Walmart is opening the doors for Palm Springs entrepreneurs to grow their businesses and reach millions of customers with applications for something I think is pretty cool. It's called Open Call 2025. It's live through July 25th. What is that? It's a chance for everybody to create a product and sell it. Mark Espinoza, Director of Public Affairs at Walmart, joins us to talk about it. Mark, welcome to the show.
Thank you, Fred. Thank you for the opportunity.
I think this is unbelievable. It's sort of like a real-life Shark Tank, where people will basically get to create products, compete for the right to have them in Walmart stores. Is that basically what this is?
Our open call is an opportunity for entrepreneurs that have shelf-ready products that are made, grown, or assembled here in the U.S. to pitch directly to Walmart and Sam's Club buyers.
Okay. That being said, and this is not the first year you've done this. You've done it in the past.
Correct. This is our 12th annual event. You're absolutely right.
Okay. So you've done it in the past, 12 years prior. What are some of the items that people pitched that Walmart actually carried?
Some of the recent open call success stories that we have, especially from California, are the Ugly Company, who is in Central California, founded by an Army veteran and a 4th-generation farmer, Ben Moore. The brand turns ugly fruit into dried snacks. And after landing a deal at Open Call, they expanded into approximately 180 stores, creating jobs there in the Central Valley and, rescuing millions of pounds of produce from landfills.
Oh, that's great. So it could be anything, any idea, anything someone has created that could catch your eye and Walmart's eye, right?
Yes, sir. As long as it's a shelf-ready product that's made, grown, or assembled in the U.S., we really want to see it. We really want to hear about it, too.
Okay, so now I've got one. I don't know what it is, but let's say I had something that was good. I said, Mark, here it is. You look at it and you go, we like that. How long will you carry the product for?
That's a very good question. It's really up to our customers to make the final decision as far as how long we carry the product. If our product is doing well, flying off the shelves, we'll continue to carry it. But the customer has to make the decision. They make that decision with their wallets.
Okay, and do you just get a ton of stuff, people coming in and trying all kinds of things? You get a lot of people that enter this?
We have thousands of applications of items that we every year. I'm currently in New Orleans finishing our Road to Open Call, where we're looking for entrepreneurs. And applications for this year's event just started yesterday, June 24th. So out of thousands, we're looking for a few hundred that are going to be able to come to Bentonville, Arkansas in October to pitch their products to our merchants.
But here in the Palm Springs area, you have a Walmart. What should people do? Should they go into Walmart there, Sam's Club?
If anybody has a product that they're wanting to look on getting in Walmart or Sam's Clubs, the first thing I would do is definitely check out your local Walmarts and Sam's Clubs. You want to see what's already on our shelves and then what differentiates your product from anything we already have on our shelves. Because in order for it to get to your product on our shelves, something has to come off. So you want to make sure that you're going in there with a full knowledge of what we already sell, how your product is different from what we already sell, and how our customers are going to value it.
All right. Mark, this is really exciting stuff. I appreciate you coming on, and good luck to everybody here in the Coachella Valley that wants to have their products in Walmart. Thanks, Mark.
Yeah, if they want to learn more, visit walmart.com/opencall.
Got it. Walmart.com/opencall. Thanks again, Mark.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
That is pretty cool. And your daily dose of cuteness when we return. Well, hey there. I just want to point something out because it is time to talk about our friends at the McCallum Theater. So I'm wearing what I'm wearing, and you know what that means? The holidays are sneaking up on us just like the Grinch, Dr. Seuss, How the Grinch Stole Christmas. Musical creeps into the McCallum in November. Magnificent sets and costumes inspired by Dr. Seuss original illustrations, as well as songs from the original animated special, will help transport audiences to the whimsical world of Whoville. For tickets and information, head over to McCallumtheater.org.
The Rogan Report was presented by the Living Desert Zoo and Gardens.
Some things work, some things don't. How do we know what's what unless you tell us? Find Fred on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at Fred Rogan. You can also email thedesertdean@gmail.com.
What has one head, 1 foot, and 4 legs? Our favorite place, a bed.
And I didn't give it away. One comment tonight about alert fatigue. We talked about it last night, and Phil is pretty straightforward. You don't want them? Turn off notifications on your apps. Thank you, Phil. Remember, we never sleep. We're always at work. NBC Palm Springs doing it for you 24/7. Hit the website, go to the show page. That's the Rogan Report. Our program from tonight will be up there, and content from our past episodes as well. All right, appreciate you watching. Have a great evening. Wheel of Fortune is next.